Alright, hello. This video is going to be like my old videos where I press record and just go. The reason for that is, as you probably know, I've been on like a month break now, or coming up to a month anyway. And if you follow me on Instagram, or if you look at my YouTube community tab post thing, you might know why. But if not, the reasons are because I moved house because my old house had mushrooms growing out the wall. I'm catching up on some work deadlines with college. And then last Friday I got into a pretty heavy car crash. So it's been an intense month, but I wanted to get something out to you. And this thing I'm showing you today is something I've been working on for a little bit now, and it's something that I really care about. So I thought I'd give it out to you guys. Also, because it is going to be a performance I'm doing at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, where I learn stuff too. I'm a student there. I don't know why I said that. I think it was just for clarity. I'm not like doing booked out shows or anything. It's a student-led thing. So, yeah, this is going to be performed on the 10th of May at 4 p.m. It's called DKA. And there is a theatre in the college called the Richard Burton Theatre, and it'll be performed in there at 4 p.m. on the 10th of May. I believe tickets are coming out April 2nd at 10 a.m. I'm not in control of the tickets, that's the college itself. But, you know, if you can, come along. If not, I'm probably going to do a video performance of it or something. I don't know. The patch isn't even finished yet. Anyway, so due to my break, I want to say thank you to all of you for putting up with me being gone, but especially my Patreons, because I don't know, being gone for a month whilst having Patrons, you know, I really appreciate the support still. So thank you, everyone. And talking about Patreon, I'm not going to do an in-depth kind of look through this patch today because there is a lot to it. As you can see, there's quite a lot in this one window. And then there's a modulated data graph here and a sampler here and a granular here. There's a lot of stuff going on. If I was to talk you through how I did everything, what all the objects do, I might be here for a week. So yeah, all right. This is a data-sonification patch. What is data-sonification? Well, it is turning data into sound. You might know Ryoji Keida. He does a lot of data-sonification, and to be honest, I have got two presets here, which, in my opinion, sound like a rip-off of him. But, you know, it's still a very much work in progress, so it will probably end up sounding quite different, but I don't know. Like I said, it's a work in progress. Anyway, so what data am I sonifying? I am sonifying medical data from 102 patients going through DKA, which is diabetic ketoacidosis, and hyperchloremia. These are the data points being mapped. So diabetes type, what medical unit they were in, their Apache 2 score, admission chloride, peak chloride category, admission serum, serum pH nadir, admission glucose, glucose peak, glucose, so on and so forth. So that is what I'm sonifying. And if we take a look at the sort of user interface. Oh, I'm lagging a little. There we go. There are these four boxes here. These are our fixed data synths. So these can only be triggered by one thing, and they are labeled here. So this one is type 1 diabetes. So anytime a patient has type 1 diabetes, it will be triggered. This one for type 2. This is the non-compliance to insulin at home. So the patient isn't taking insulin properly, maybe. I don't know. And this is peak glucose or peak blood sugar level, and that's a polysynthesizer. So these can't change what data is making them make noise. I think it's only going to be those four which are fixed data, and I'll get into why later. But they can be triggered differently time-wise. So they can either be triggered automatically with a metronome kind of thing, or they can be triggered through a data graph scroll or data graph play. What is the data graph, I hear you ask? It's this bit here. So, because I have stuff saved as presets, let's just get rid of these things here. So, data graph scroll, if I send that to our non-compliance to insulin, which is this synthesizer here, which also has an FM bit, I should have mentioned. When I scroll through here, it will scroll through... Oh, sorry. I just got an email. It will scroll through the data index of non-compliance to insulin. So let's take a quick look at that. So non-compliance to insulin, and then it is index 17 within our data. So 17, here it is. So anytime there is a 1, it will trigger. If it's 0, it won't trigger. And that's our little kind of triggering system for that bit, kind of. So before I get into any of this, let me just show you that. So we drag and it will go through that line of data. Just going to check we're getting audio. So let me check that by changing it to automatic. That shouldn't be doing that. Hang on. Sorry, for some reason, anytime I open this patch, this one cross patcher, I've written it there, it's meant to have exclusive output connections. That means only one. That means, how do I word this? These outputs can only have one thing going into them. There we go. So if I turn on exclusive connections to outputs, there we go, there we go, there we go. So automatic, and then if I was to do that, yeah, that disappears. Good. So let's, I should say, there's also this data graph play. Okay, let me talk about that real quick. So we have this scrolling one here, which is the orange one, but the blue one is our data graph play, which is basically an automatic version of going through the data graph. It's also time-based. It's going along with everything else, so it's not completely freeform or out of time. Pardon me. And here you can modulate things with the data graph play or scroll. So here we have it going into an echo, reverb, decay, size, and mix. We also have it going into that low sine oscillator's frequency and the length of the amplitude envelope. So the higher the values here, the higher the values here. Got some attenuation as well. So let's have a quick listen to that on its own. When it reaches here, it should be a little longer and much more high pitch. It didn't do it properly. Okay, let's just get like a binary bit of data here, so it's very extreme. Okay, you see what I mean? And you probably also just saw that these data graphs, you can scroll through the indices or indexes. I'm not sure what the right word is. And it's got the label for it is here. So that's very handy. And that is the reason why I think it's only going to be these four which are fixed data synths, because I'm going to build more synths or instruments to go into this set, but they're all going to be controlled by multiple ones of these. I'm going to basically make maybe 8 or 16 of these, I think, or whatever my computer can handle, because, you know, our CPU is already at 20 to 25, and I haven't even done the visuals for this yet. So that's going to be fun. Anyway. So, okay, what else have I got to talk about? There's a lot. Like I said, I'm not going to be too in-depth with this because I don't know where you may be as a Mac user, and I don't know how I would talk about all of this within like 20 minutes. So, you know. But an important part of this set, I believe, is this number here with multiply or divide. It's kind of self-explanatory. The patching was a pain. But, so for low sign, we have it multiplying by 1, also known as it's doing nothing. So let's listen to that real quick. And as you can see, our data graph is doing its thing here. So if I turn that to 4, it will multiply the time by 4, slowing it down. So this isn't like in music where the bigger the number you have... Wait, let me reword that. This isn't like in instrumental subdivisions where the bigger the number you have, the slower it is. Because we're using things per millisecond. If we multiply the millisecond, obviously the milliseconds get longer, and you know what I mean. So we can also divide that by 2. Which gets pretty intense, and all of these have that function. So does the data graph play. Yeah. Alright, cool. Let me quickly show you how I did that, because it's been really handy. So let's have a look at the oscillator we're listening to. Okay, so this is the main kind of, well, not main patch, it's the little patch for that thing. We get our main milliseconds, we get our main triggers, that is getting stored into a float box, getting sent out to either a multiplication object or a divide object, which is then going into a switch object, and we are switching the inputs from the symbols, mult, or divide, or messages. Sorry, I can't remember if they're messages, they're messages, not symbols. And we're getting that through these buttons, and those buttons have this little thing here. But I think, if I remember right, that this bit is just so when I turn one on, the other one turns off. That might be all that patch does. Maybe, I don't know. There was also this kind of big bit here where that kind of determines what's coming out of here. So as you can see, if I change a connection, so if I delete that, set 030. If I put that back in, it's set 031, because this is 0, this is 3, and 1 is the gain between them. But we're not using gain, so it's just 0 or 1. And because we have different triggering systems, we need to tell each kind of layer of the receiving triggering systems, I guess. We need to tell it which one to accept. So here is just the automatic one. Input 4 is the data graph scroll, and over here is the data graph play. Yes, it is. This is the data graph play. This input is coming in from the scroll, and this is our automatic. So yeah, and then that all goes into a switch. Depending on what this cross patch up here is saying, it will trigger a different number here, which opens or closes different inputs there. So, you know, that's fun. What else? Yeah, these synths are pretty simple. This one's got an FM voice somewhere. Is this not the FM one? No, that's not. This is the FM one, and you know, if you use Max, you'll know this patch. It's just from one of the tutorials. But anyway, right, so that is kind of the basics of this window. I should also mention, with this audio effects section, the cross-patching had to be multi-channel, because the matrix doesn't take... It does take mono signals, but I would have to have a separate thing for polysynth left and right here. So I packed them into a 2-channel multi-channel, mixed that down, we're sending that into the matrix, and then anything that comes out of the matrix, we're unpacking it, and then sending out the left and right, all the way over to here. So where are our effects? Okay, here's an effect, yeah. All the way over to here, it's receiving it here, and then getting sent out into this live gain, and then out of the live gain into our DAC settings. Sorry, I've got a very tickly throat. In our DAC settings, we have some limiters. Ableton's drum bus as a max object and an EQ, so that's all nice and simple. Anyway, let's just get on to the other instruments around here. So yeah, as you can see, we've got audio effects here. These are the drum bus things, that's the EQ things, there are our presets. This is our mixer here, something I'm really happy with the mixer. Say our click channel we just want there. When you mute it, it remembers where you last did it, which I always took for granted in other programs. But yeah, that's what all this patching is about. All this scaling and ZL filter and blah, 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 blah. And also another thing that patch involves is if I mute the channel, as soon as I drag it back up, this button switches back. Which, again, take for granted in other programs because that was very annoying in Max. Alright, so the data graph. Let's have a look at this. This is just a function receiving the data. So where is our main patch for that? Because this is all sends and receives here. Sorry, my patching is a little messy. Oh, here it is. So this is the main patch to do that. We have the call object again. That's triggering a bang in 3 different lists. We're getting the minimum and maximum. We're making sure that the domain is always sent out, which the domain is just the display left and right. That's just so... Oh no, domain is up and down, I believe. No, that is the minimum maximum getting sent to a pack, which is then going to a prepend range. So the range here is 3.4 to 181.4. And that's why we can see all the lowest values and all the top values. The domain is left to right, sorry. Yeah, that's about it for that. There's just some kind of fiddly bits and bobs. And then we can change our index here. As you can see, it's changing the data there, as I said earlier. And that's also getting sent to a text index, which there could have been a better way to do this probably, but I didn't do that. And this is all the different things, which are then getting displayed. And this is our play area here. And this is the patching area. We've got some attenuation here, and yeah. So there's going to be a lot more of those because they're very handy. And I think I'm going to be able to get some sort of faux polymetric stuff going on if I send, say, 2 or 3 data graphs to the same synthesizer but at different time values. So maybe I'll multiply this one by 3 and the next one by 5, and you get me. Alright, then we got sample mangler. We have every channel here which we can send into the sample mangler, and this records whatever is getting sent into it. So, if I was having stuff play right now, I could send it in, and yeah, this is quite a simple patch, to be honest. I think I might have followed a tutorial for this one way back when, but it's MC objects with MC Groove, and we're incrementing some stuff. That's the main sort of function there, so it's quite simple. Again, with the multi-channel audio signals going into an MC matrix. And then, yeah, it records the sample there. It's displayed here. I nicked this sort of selecty bit here from the help file because it's Java scripting and I don't understand that yet. Yeah, okay. And then we got a granular synth, which I absolutely followed a tutorial for because it is in MC Gen. So let me open up the original file. Yeah, there's the tutorial. So I will link that tutorial in the description. Okay. So, yeah, it's all medical data getting triggered. And I guess that's kind of it, without getting really in depth with what's going on. Let me see how long I've been recording for. I've been recording for 20 minutes. Okay, let's just play some music. No, I don't want to quit. Oops, wrong button. Okay, let's just get some music on the go. It's very minimalist and glitchy at the minute because I like Ryoji Ikeda, and yeah, okay, let's go. I'll probably put this at the beginning of the video as well to hold attention. Anyway, let's go. Bye. Shit. Alright, cool. Come see the live show. 10th of May at 4 p.m. in the Richard Burton Theatre inside the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama. Tickets available on April the 2nd, I believe. Let me double check that. April 2nd, 10 a.m. Tickets are out. Cool. Alright. If you want to have a better look at this patch, join my Patreon. Alright, goodbye.